Hello everybody, Arctic here, and welcome to my 10 worst fictional companies to work for in video games. Wow, that's a mouthful. Now, this entire list is entirely opinionated, my opinion. If you do not agree with it, please go ahead and let me know in the comments below how you would have ordered it or what you think should have been on it. Here we go. Number 10, Cerberus from Mass Effect. They basically wanted to create super soldiers. They're essentially evil, got declared a terrorist organization on behalf, even though they believed they were enhancing humanity with experimentation and other stuff like that. They're not entirely a great company to work for because of the whole fact that, unless you could find a way to, prevent from being experimented on or put out as military, in harm's way, I guess they could be okay. Just be a scientist or something. You'd be fine then. Number 9. The Shinra Electric Power Company from Final Fantasy VII. Yes, here's some nostalgia for you. They're a company that cares nothing about the environment, and I mean nothing. They literally were channeling the life stream into electricity. They had a military branch to rule with an iron fist and make sure that you did not stop them from doing what they wanted to do. Also, if you didn't pay your bill, then they could come in and say, hey, yeah, guess what? You're doomed. They also, kind of, on top of, killing the planet and forcibly taking, stuff, whatever they wanted, needless to say, not necessarily the best company entirely, and probably not one you would want to work for. Number 8, Black Mesa, Half-Life. The Black Mesa research facility seemed like a great place to work for, multiple types of researches, fairly safe, working really, really hard to make sure that you're okay while they, figure out what they want to do. Or at least that's how it first looks, until something goes wrong, and then suddenly the government and everyone step in and say, yeah, guess what, you're dead. Given the fact of the classified work going on there, it kind of became one man's goal, to make sure no one died, or as few people died as possible. And that's when you kind of see how things could be bad. So while the company's not horribly, horribly bad, at the end of the day, when the government gets involved and says, yeah, we're going to clean this all up, you're going to get cleaned up with it. So if you don't mind getting cleaned up with everything else, this would be a company for you. Number 7, Corp, Ratchet and Clank. This company makes robots, and for multiple reasons, but they got really a bad rap for, an employee, or some employees. Most of the time, they're fairly good people. Well, fairly good people to work for. Robots kind of get some abuse, but generally, fairly good people. But when an imposter takes over the role of CEO and bends the company to his will, suddenly it becomes a relatively hostile place. It's not an overly horrible place, it's just in situations like that, which if it's something that can happen once, who's to say it wouldn't happen again, kind of makes this, company have an issue. So that's really the reason why it made it on this list, is when stuff goes wrong for them, stuff goes wrong for them. Number 6, Hyperion Borderlands. The company run by Handsome Jack after he manipulated his way to the top and blackmailed his way up there. They're the providers of the new station. Makes me wonder why they don't just turn it off and kill the protagonist. At the same point in time, I don't see how anyone else dies in that game. If there's a new U station, they should just all be coming back. Might explain why we have an endless supply of enemies, but at the same point in time, certain characters also seem to be permagone. They also maintain the claptrap plants, which kind of is bad in general, but What makes the company even worse is the fact that they are run by a mentally unstable, manipulative, Handsome Jack, who basically makes your life a living hell if he doesn't like you. They're working hard to get iridium coal ore for his own end. I guess if you can stay on his good side or off his radar, it would be a horrible company to work for, but still, don't make him mad. Right. Number 5. Abstergo, Assassin's Creed. The company from the Assassin's Creed universe, Abstergo, is run by the Templars, and was founded in 1936. And the whole thing's not entirely horrible, except for the fact that the company is trying to take over the world. If they find out that you're related to, you have any assassin's blood in you, they're pretty much going to either use you or kill you. Don't turn against them, or they're going to kill you. Basically stay on their side because they're run by the Templars, and that's the only way that you're going to stay okay working for them, is to kind of, And even then, they could send you on raids or stuff against the assassins, putting you in harm's way. So they're an evil company doing an evil thing, and don't cross them or you're doomed. Number 4, Vaulttec, Fallout. They were a military contractor who did top secret government research and experimental advanced tech with war coming, yeah, massive nuclear problems. They built tons of vaults to protect people. Great, right? Except for the fact they used so many of the vaults for experiments, it's not funny. Most of them were for experiments on different things, data gathering, etc., and in the end, kind of was just really, really bad for the people who got saved. Really, what makes this company so bad to work for is the fact that employees would get stuck inside the vaults or just downright rejected for being protected and blown up. So really, when the bombs came down, you either got stuck in an experimental vault where, well, you might be a test subject, or you might get killed by the test subjects, or you would end up getting blown up and irradiated, and as we saw in Fallout 4, you know, become a ghoul. Number 3, Umbrella Corporation, Resident Evil. Now, you knew this was going to be on the list. I bet you thought it was going to be up here in the top 5, possibly in the top 3. They started as a pharmaceutical company, and I guess in the end they stayed one the whole time. They used underground research facilities for multiple things, working on quite a bit of stuff for everybody, and then kind of got greedy and made the T-virus for their own ends, and yeah, we remember how that went. They lost a lot of their people, a lot of their employees to the virus and other things, and then just raids and other stuff like that. Kind of just bad. They wanted money, they wanted power, they wanted to be big, even sacrificing their own employees to get it. And, well, can you tell why this wouldn't be a great company to work for? I mean, look how many people of their own have died. Just look at it. And if, you know, the virus didn't kill them, Wesker did. Number 2, Aperture Farms, Oddworld. You ever work for a company that makes meat out of people? Well, that's the story with this company. They're a meat processing plant, and when interest declines in something or our race dies down, they have to turn to other ideas. And in one, they turn to their own slaves. Yes, turning their own slaves into food. When the slaves are, well, while slaves are technically not working for in the aspect of being an employee, they still are technically working. And in that instance, it's a bad company to work for. And also at the same point in time, you know, if they're not turning, imagine if you're another race, a race that might not be a slave, but an office worker, but suddenly they go, ooh, look, your meat sells. Suddenly you go from being office worker to dinner. So that's what makes this company number 2. Number 1, Aperture Science, Portal. I'm not sure if you thought this would be here. I knew as soon as I decided I was making this list, this was number 1, just because I cannot think of a worse company to work for. Aperture Science is a scientific research facility founded in 1974 by Cave Johnson. Yes, later run by Gladys, an AI program. Yeah, the location of the Portal 1 and 2 games. The company started off as a shower curtain manufacturing plant. Oh my gosh, Aperture Fixtures. Then they signed a contract to make shower curtains for the military, except the Navy. Yeah, all great until 1973 when they decided to purchase a salt mine and become a science facility, rebranding as Aperture Science. And made the Portal device, which caused lots of problems. Yeah, and then using product testing on the best and the brightest, causing them to die and disappear in other issues. And then they moved on to homeless people and had similar issues, and then ended up going bankrupt. Yeah. By the way, their leading competitor is Black Mesa. So, during all of this, even the CEO was being used for experimentation. In fact, he was exposed to conversion gel and got poisoned from it, thinking because they thought that maybe if they ate the gels or fed the gels to people, that it would cause helpful things to happen or good things to happen or anything to happen. During this time, Johnson was exposed to the gels and kind of made him sick and die because really it was conversion gel made of moon rock, because they really seemed to think that it was a good idea to expose people to them and make them eat it and cover themselves in it and other stuff like that. And because of this, just eating the different gels and doing other stuff like that, thinking it was a smart idea to see what would happen, because their scientific idea was, here, let's just see what happens. Do it and see what happens. Yeah. So he died from moonrock poisoning. Most of the workers died to experiments, poisoning, tests, etc. And those who managed to survive got killed by Gladys. When she took over, time, she killed them one by one, two by two, or sometimes sections at a time. So, I list this as the worst fictional company to work for because in the end, I think basically everything but the AIs got exterminated. So, anyways, this is my list of the 10 worst fictional companies to work for in video games. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have suggestions for a list that I can do in the future, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Also, if you do not agree with anything I have on this list, go ahead. Let me know what you would have thought, what you would have added, what you would have removed, how you would have ordered it. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, you have fun, and I'll see you later.